Hello, this is Mr. Ankur from Astro Weather Watch. You may hear from many people that earthquakes cannot be predicted. They are wrong. I predict earthquakes every day. 70 to 80% of earthquakes that happen have been predicted by me. They are almost exactly on the prediction lines that I publish. And I publish and I give a 10-day date range for those earthquakes, sometimes even the exact date, and even the hour sometimes, the magnitude range, and of course the location. The location is not so precise that it can, because there's a prediction line which passes through several areas. So you can say the location is not exactly precise, but you see the zone, in which zone the earthquake would occur. And of course, it's a method which can be fine-tuned further if I had the proper funding and time for it, because I forego my regular work and spend some time every week on earthquakes just as a passion, so that one day the method can be fine-tuned and it can help people. It's not that I'm earning any money from it, so I spend a lot of time on that just out of my passion, so that the method can be fine-tuned further. But I hope one day there is someone who can help me, uh, to give, or who can, or there are readers, for example, who can give some financial support so I can dedicate more time to this. Anyway, that's another thing. So anyway, let me show you one great example of today. Just a few hours back, an earthquake happened, magnitude 5 earthquake happened in Inner Mongolia in China. And that's the part of Inner Mongolia which adjoins Eastern Mongolia and Russia. So it's an area where earthquakes do not happen that much, though not that regularly. It's not that part of Inner Mongolia which is towards Xinjiang. This is the other side of Inner Mongolia. So here even magnitude 3 plus earthquakes are not that common, but magnitude 4 plus or 5 is not is quite infrequent. They do happen sometimes, but not very frequent. So on December 31st, let me show you the my prediction, what I had posted. So on December 31st, I had posted that there would be a magnitude 5 plus or even 5.5 plus earthquake between January 2 and 12, 2026, in this region where this Inner Mongolia, Russia, and Eastern Mongolia join together. Uh, and you can say this is a brave prediction, because it's not that I'm predicting an earthquake in Japan, in Hokkaido, or in California, or in Turkey, or, even though it's not that Turkey has magnitude 4 plus earthquakes every week, but some people erroneously assume that. But and even though predicting Japan also accurately is tricky. Japan is a very longish country. But anyway, forget that. But this is a part where earthquakes are not that common. But I predict based on whatever the planetary movements and positions tell me. I do not look at fault lines when I publish earthquakes. When the planets tell me that there is an earthquake in this area, then I publish it. It doesn't matter to me whether the plates are colliding there, or they are not colliding there, or whatever. That's why I am able to predict earthquakes even in places like Poland or near Bilbao in Spain, which recently happened some days back. So let me show you this now. Yeah. So this is my as you can see, this is my astroweatherwatch.substack.com, and this was the post which I published on 31st of December. Yes, for 2nd to 12th of January, part 1, which means is for the Eastern Hemisphere. Because the post becomes too long, so I divide them into East and West, Eastern Hemisphere, Western Hemisphere. So this is the post which I published, and let me search for the particular. Um, sorry, I did one. So this is the line which I'm talking about. I say a line close to the above line. So there were two lines which were very very close to each other, just 10-15 kilometers away. I could have just published one. There was no need actually to publish two, but I still published both of them. So this is, as you can see, this is one line. As you can see, this is above. This is Russia, and then this is Eastern Mongolia, and then all this is China. This is Inner Mongolia, and then there are further different regions of China. So this line crosses this region where the three countries meet: Mongolia, China, and Russia. It goes into this Inner Mongolia region. Yeah, and I say here that magnitude 5 plus earthquake is possible. Very high likelihood of magnitude 5 plus earthquake. And so this is the line, as you can see. I show it again specifically that in this particular area, because this line is very long, you can stretch it, but different other incidents could happen near this on this line, yeah, or less, or different magnitude earthquakes could also happen on this line in some other parts of the world. But I am saying that very high likelihood of M5 plus earthquake near this section of the line, right? I say near this section of the line, and with the most malefic area being shown thus. So this is the most likely area, I say. Then there is another line again very close to this, in which I think it could be even higher, but it's just 10 kilometers away. So it's basically M5 plus or M4 5.5 plus, basically near these two lines. And again, it's almost the same line, it's just a little bit towards the west of that line. And again, as you can see, this is the malefic area. Here I just show the malefic area. So what happens? This is 31st December prediction for the period of 2nd to 12th of January. And I would advise any readers, if they know any earthquake specialists, any seismologists, they send this video to them. It's important to have an open mind, to not make science a thing of ideology. Just because man wants to feel master of nature, they dismiss the natural cycles, they dismiss whatever is in sync in nature, and they try to think as if this cannot be done. This is ideology, this is not science. Science is having an open mind. So you see here, this is the earthquake database list of today, and so you see magnitude 5 earthquake happened 1st of January 7:30 p.m. UTC, but that is actually 2nd of January in China already. So basically 2nd of January, this would be what, around maybe 2:30 3:30 a.m. in of 2nd of January in China, in Inner Mongolia. And so this is the coordinates, 45.8 latitude and 108 north and 118 east. So this is the latitude. You probably have already realized that this is exactly where I said the earthquake would happen. This is the Mongolia jutting in, that's Russia above, and all this is China. So as you can again match with this, you see. So it's actually, I calculated it, it's around 40-kilometer distance from the prediction line. The margin of error for the prediction line is 200 kilometers, and this 40 kilometers. As you can see here, so this was the prediction, and this is where, so this is actually the summary. You see, this was the prediction line for M5 plus or 5.5 plus earthquake. So I predicted the magnitude, I predicted the location, and I have predicted the date range. I'd say January 2 to 12, and it happens on January 2 itself. Now, so what this means is that more earthquakes could happen near this line, given that the line has activated so early in this period. And even in fact some other parts of this line which go to different parts of the world and which may have some different incidents, not necessarily earthquakes, could also be activated. Anyway, so what I wanted to tell you is that earthquakes can be predicted. Of course, this is all this I am doing on my own with mathematical calculations on paper. I would like to have, for example, the support of machine learning in order to capture more patterns that I probably miss out on, more patterns of planetary movements and positions. But anyway, currently I am not doing any ML. I am doing it on my own with just mathematical calculations based on planets positions, which of planetary positions keep changing, and that's how the earthquake prediction lines keep changing. And tomorrow an earthquake is here, and day after tomorrow the earthquake is somewhere else. But as I said, I'm doing it just all alone, taking time off from my regular work, trying to fine tune this method in whatever time I can get, which is little. I would like to dedicate more time to it, but there's no funding for it, which I find is extremely strange, because earthquakes can damage a lot of property, can damage people's lives, can also have casualties. But there are two things I have noticed in my life. One is that people spend a lot of money on unnecessary things and not on necessary things, which is unfortunate. And second is this hard nosed obstinacy of modern scientists. Something is in plain sight, but they refuse to believe it. If it's just once or twice, if it happens, then they call it as a fluke. If it happens repeatedly, then I think they just become irritated and angry because they don't have any answer to it, and which is very, very poor and pitiful, because it's not a matter of one should not just reject something when something is so useful for humanity, just because of an ideology that you grew up believing in. A human being's identity should not be stuck to some particular ideology or religion or worldview. A human being's identity should be anchored in their own selves, in love, affection, in their own selves, in their own insights. And they should always be curious. They should never stop possibilities. For example, there are things, for example, which I don't believe in, and there are things which I believe in. But the things which I don't believe in, if someone were to say that, okay, this has happened, I would still leave a latitude of doubt that, okay, maybe I would examine it, or at least I would not summarily reject it. And that is what science is. Without any statistical analysis done on such results, they reject it. This is not possible. Maybe it is not possible with your method, but there are other methods with which it is possible, and I have already proven it. And this was an example, a beautiful example of what I do day in and day out. I mean, I don't do it day in, day out because, as I said, I have to take time off from my regular work for this. But I anyway have keep a tab on earthquakes that happen every day, and I try to keep a few hours every week for some further research. And then, of course, a lot of time takes gets taken up by in uh, finding the next week's earthquakes and publishing them. That takes a lot of time. I hope to automate it, but then even to automate it, I would have to find, yeah, ways. I would have to learn how to automate it. It can be automated, because these are quite fixed patterns of planets, which I already know now, like when a planet is in a particular position, or in what angle to another planet, then what will happen. So I have so all this actually can be automated. All the earthquake predictions work can be automated. Of course, with further fine tuning, it should be automated in the guidance of someone who knows what they are doing. Uh, Someone like me, yeah, me or some if someone else is out there like me. Anyway, hope it was a little bit of enlightening talk for you. Thank you.